Hey guys, Darin Benson with Performance Motorcoaches. Happy Labor Day. Come follow us for a quick tour of a 2023 Renegade Explorer. This is the 38 EMB, so a single bath, but come check it out. We'll get it pulled out. All right, here we are. 2023 Renegade Explorer 38 EMB, which I said before is a single bath, mid bath, great unit, great color combination. This is the Stratus. Oddly enough, we got to use one of these last year, right about October, so pretty close to this time. We used this kind of in the south, went through Kentucky, had a great time for about a week. We just got back from a 1-week vacation, so we picked it up at the factory, went up through the upper peninsula of Michigan, came back, and we're back here in Texas, got it all cleaned up, and wanted to share a quick video with you guys. So they haven't changed too many things from the 2022s to 2023s. The biggest difference you'll see if you've been shopping them for a while is quite a bit inflated MSRP. Now, there's nothing I can do about that. It is what it is. I believe that this product was first introduced with a little bit lower MSRP. I can tell you I've had cars that bought the first model year, and then the second model year the price jumped up significantly. That's something that some manufacturers will do to kind of create some early on interest. I believe probably a little bit of that with Renegade. The product has sold really well. There's been a lot of interest in it. It's done a great job in doing a 4-slide coach and a smaller coach, coupled with a lot of the exterior attributes. So the elevated front and rear caps, they have the fake can awnings, so it's a really high-end look on a smaller unit. This particular unit and all the Explorers will all be built on the Cascadia 116, so the little bit shorter hood Cascadia. It'll be powered by the DD13, the 12.8 liter Detroit diesel, 13 liter, actually 12.8 liters, and they're coupled to the Allison 4000 series transmission. All of these will have the full Detroit assurance package. Apologize for some of the noise on the highway today. The full Detroit assurance, which is crash mitigation, adaptive cruise, lane departure warning, and blind spot monitoring. So let's go ahead and cruise around the unit. You can see it's a little bit shorter hood here than some of the longer hood Cascadias. But good look to it, some charcoal, silvers, and white. So to me, kind of the best color combination, and especially for a neat freak or people that are in really hot environments, it's a nice setup. So the Explorers and the XLs actually sit a little bit higher off the frame of the truck compared to say your classics. So the storage compartments will be a little bit larger in overall height than your classics. Of course, this does have all of the line storage compartments right here. Makes it handy to be able to wipe out, rinse out if you need to. Single inverter on the Explorer line. They do not offer any kind of a dual inverters. I can tell you that the first thing I did whenever I jumped in the unit was I wired the center air conditioner, the front air conditioner, into the inverter. That's a great attribute if you're doing a lot of travel in any kind of warmer environment. You don't have to start your generator. Even though Dash Air does a great job, most of the times we were able just to cool the coach with just that mid-air conditioner. In fact, one night we ran just the air conditioner all off the batteries. A ton of batteries, we'll get into that next door, but happy to have all of the Victron systems on board here. That 3000 watt does a good job. Hydronic heat here, so the AquaHot 450, which is probably the most common AquaHot system out there on the market. I've got some cab seats here for another truck, save some freight back from Indiana, but this is actually a 3/4 pass-through. Get some of this stuff out of the way. 3/4 pass-through right here. The 40 is obviously a little bit larger as far as width side to side. Central vac rearwards of your axle here. There is a 110 outlet right there. A lot of times I add, on the classic line, I'll add the central vac just strictly for having an additional 110 plug there. It does have the glide hands right here. Even though guys do pull some stackers with this, I would not recommend pulling any kind of a monster stacker with this. This would be just, you know, a small weekender type of unit to be able to pull any, you know, smaller stacker in that 18 to 22 foot. Anything beyond that, I would definitely go up with a tandem axle. So nice big full-size cap here. Like I said, they did a good job integrating more lights into the cap. That's one complaint we get with a lot of the classics, is just simply not enough lights on the back of the unit. So this is just kind of a nice flushed finished look. They do all the way across the product line. They do a 2-piece rear cap. The idea is if you damage the lower piece, you can easily ship this lower portion right here. 20,000 pound rear hitch. It does have the spots for your glide hands, and it does have a camera input. So there's actually 2 camera inputs there, and then you'll have your traditional trailer plug right there. Reverse lights, the clear reverse lights down below. A little bit cleaner backup camera than you see on some of the other units. And then you can see they brought the rear cap up, but there is a little bit of spot for the wind to be able to blow through there. Transfer switch is right back here, along with your automatic cord reel, so 50 amp cord reel, and then there is a 110 connection in there. There again, if a customer needed to be able to take and put like a 50 amp plug, we'd easily do that. You'd be pushing the power limits off of the 8K generator, but as far as just running the coach itself, the 8K just has no problem. Like I said, and they do not offer anything larger than 8K on this product. Nice clean wet bay. This would be a pretty big difference, where you can see if you watch any other videos, you can see the gray water, black water tanks. There's a lot more spacing between here and here compared to, and then even this little gap right here. You don't get that on any of the classics or say the Verona line at all. There's a hydronic register back in the wet bay. You can monitor your temperature inside that wet bay. So if you're in colder environments, you can keep from freezing any of that. Of course, it's pretty simple to do a really quick like winterization and then eliminate any pressurized water in that compartment. 12 volt heat pads. This does not have the option for the macerator system, but we can easily add that here. In fact, there's already a place for the switch to go inside that wet bay. They did a good job in the Explorer line doing the chassis batteries, and then this is the maximum amount of batteries on board. So there's 4 of these big guys right here, 270 amp hour batteries. There's full heat on those, so if you're in any kind of colder environment, so they will keep themselves warm. But that's the reason why I integrated the air conditioner to the inverter. I know my limitations on what I can't do with a single inverter, so it's not a problem, but very helpful to have. And that was another thing they added for 2023. Used to, you had limitations within your Firefly that knew that your generator wasn't running. It wouldn't allow your air conditioner to run, and they've eliminated all that, or they've done overrides. If you know what you're doing, you can override all that on the 2023 year models. The shorter hood, the shorter Cascadia actually pushes the fuel tank back a little bit. So that's the reason why you see this big dead panel right here between your leveling jack and your fuel tank. If you were looking at a large hood Cascadia, it'll actually push your fuel tank forwards, but with a short hood, it pushes rearwards there. 2023, they kept the factory seats. These are the Freightliner factory seats. They ditched the horrible aftermarkets that they've been throwing in them for the last few years, and then just take and recover those. The seat that was back in that storage compartment will be for a customer that wants to go one step further. This is much needed from what they had in the past, but there are availability of nicer options beyond these seats. But there's a night-day difference right here. Just ask my co-pilot. She's much happier in these seats than the previous seats. They do add heat to them, but these are all the factory air settings right here. We're going to jump on board inside. Single one-piece awning. We're not going to bore you with running the awning out, but it is a dual stage awning, and there is a motion sensor located with inside that guy. Almost forgot the outdoor TV. Apologize. And then in 2022 and newer, they made them where they pull out. There's little magnets on the back, and the sound bar comes along with it. They did a little bit taller shocks as well. Some of these, there was a little bit lower. If you were relatively tall, you might be able to whack your head. So they did this where they come up just a little bit further. No real change as far as entryway right here. The classics emulated the Explorers in that they do a solid surface entryway right here. It's just it's a little bit cleaner, a little bit nicer than your traditional tiled entryway. So we do have the air conditioner rolling. It's a pretty darn humid day, so we're just going to roll with this air conditioner, but I'll take it, shut it down. I apologize. I'm going to run it down to low just to make it not so loud. So you can see there again, there's a lot of working space all the way in through this. I am going to try to push this fly out. If it'll go, probably not. But really usable coach. The first night we stayed in a parking lot, never run any of the slides out other than the one bed slide because we were along a curb. So still a very usable unit. Keep in mind that most of the Explorers are built more for couples right here. So you could obviously eat in these places right here, but it's not a full 4-person dinette because of this elevator here. So, but still a lot of room here. Of course, if you were trying to sleep more than 2 on the ground, you could build this coach with a couch that would flip over, obviously. So I can flip-flop around to the mid-bath. Get to all your cabinets with relative ease. Get back here to your mid-bath. So you can actually drive down the road and still get to your rear bath and use the bathroom if needed. And then same for back here. Now, one thing that is a little bit different that they did on the on all the Explorers is they only have a 75-inch long mattress. I'm not a big fan of that. I just, whenever you sleep, just plan on pushing your head all the way up against the headboard there, and it's just one of the limitations because they just do solid cabinets all the way across the board there. We're going to get all the slides opened up, and we'll come on back. Okay, so you can see so much more room with the opposing slides right here. They kind of flip-flop from most what you see along the product line. They did the plumbing in this slide. It only gives you about 18 inches in depth on this slide versus 32 inches in depth because there's no plumbing other than the water line that runs to that. So you don't have to worry about any kind of drainage whatsoever. So your deep slide is actually on your camp side, but there's still a fair amount of room underneath the slides and then to be able to get some of your rear compartments right there as well. But they did a great job for such a small unit. There's a ton of storage. So for people that are wanting to go full time, for people that do a lot of cooking here, I don't know of another motorhome in this class that has this much room. So whether you are big onto, if you have some kind of food processor, whether you have like a sous vide cooker, anything like that, even going through and having, say, like a nice coffee machine that you wanted to store at times. So there's a lot of room in this guy right here to be able to accommodate people that are on the road quite a bit. This elevator does flip up and down. For people that aren't big TV people, you can obviously keep it down and then just have all your windows opening right there. This is not a convertible set. This is actually fixed into place right here, so that cannot accommodate even a single person. You do have some storage underneath your dinette here. So you can see there's a relatively deep as well. Of course, you have overhead storage there. A little bit of storage inside this guy for some extra remotes, or perhaps if you had like an iPad, some chargers, you can take and put them in there. These are automatic. No heat on board on these, and no massage, which to me is really not a big issue. But large cab opening right here. The aero caps just give you so much more room. Of course, with the floor being up a little bit, you don't have any real hump to step over. You actually step down to the cab, which is pretty darn minimal effort. These cab seats do turn around to be able to accommodate more people. 2023, they went to a separate monitor instead of having the cameras integrated into the Garmin. Later chassis will actually have a full digital dash. So this will probably be our last Explorer with this more traditional style dash here. Get all the kitchen to open up. There again, a ton of room here. All the cabinets are all solid maple. All the drawers are all dovetail construction. And this is one thing you don't see on too many products. There's actually a big monster drawer underneath the cooktop there. The shelving underneath there is actually convertible. You can move those things up or down or remove them completely. There again, a ton of room here and here. And then those, same for those shelves right there. They are convertible. They can be removed. They can be put in different places. They did recess the cooktop. I can't necessarily tell you why they recessed the cooktop. I prefer having a cooktop out, but there again, some people like it recessed. Just kind of a matter of preference. Single basin sink, which they've eliminated the dual basin sinks. One thing I did forget about, actually put little pieces in here. And so there again, like if you were trying to have 4 people eat, you get your TV dinner and stick it right there. Kind of a mild design flaw right there, but you can still take and get that. I'm going to put it right over here in this really large opening. Seems to be a little bit better right there in that larger opening. Where you sit and where you kind of hang out, there again, you can catch this. I mean, it's just small little things. This actually has the old school USB, but it has the new style USB-C. For somebody that wastes their phone pretty rapidly, I always like seeing those because I know I can charge my phone in 20-30 minutes instead of 2 hours. Now, for people that watched some of the Explorer videos last year, what I was not a big fan of is the lack of soft touch walls. Part of the reason why I like the 38 is you don't see much of the walls themselves. Yes, you do see this right here, but everything is kind of broken up quite a bit, with the exception for the wall in the very back. So just preference. There's talks about doing soft touch on 2024. Who knows what we'll see in the future. We'll come back in this mid bath. I guess technically the only bath. So, for me, neat freak, even though this is a relatively small bath area, you can still brush your teeth. You kind of have to hunker over there, but it's just they minimized or maximized the minimal space that they have here. But you can still brush your teeth, you wash your hands, wash your face. Just be prepared to have a towel handy, so you don't make too much of a mess around the area. I'll jump in the shower. Not a problem for me. I would rather have a small shower than a neo angle shower. So I like the square and rectangle showers. For me, 6 foot tall, I've got a fair amount of room. And like I said, they did this slide bar, so if you have kids, you can get this down so they're not shooting water everywhere. Pocket doors here, a pocket door there. Of course, you have washer or dryer. We did utilize the washer dryer once. I don't think I opened up that cabinet right there. So that could be hanging, be basically convertible. And then down low is where we did our magic, where we integrated the air conditioner into the inverter panel. So lots of different things to be able to take and do that. And then this is part of this is the Victron 7-inch plus screen here that will kind of tell you what's going on, tell you your amp draw, tell you your wattage, what you're getting off your solar. So it's a pretty handy setup. And the nice thing about this is if you add additional inverters, everything is kind of plug and play from there. If you add additional solar, we'd have to upgrade the controller, but everything will fully integrate. So we talked earlier about 75-inch bed length, which I'm not a big fan of, because technically, you know, if I had this bed sticking out an additional 5 inches, it wouldn't be too much of an issue. They did it all solely due to the closet slide right here. There again, it wouldn't bother me if they actually went underneath, because the classics, I'm sorry, the Explorers have a little bit lower ceiling height. The slides get a little bit less height, and so that we'll kind of change that up. But like I said, if I had my ruthers, I would have a full 80-inch mattress and just know that it slid underneath there, and then you'd have a little bit less storage underneath there. But I think for the most part, people aren't going to utilize the space whenever you have so much space elsewhere all the way around the coach. I do this. I don't ever put a laundry hamper, but the idea is you put a laundry hamper down there and they can throw your clothing down underneath there. So this is really the only area that has all of the wallboard wall. You know, I'm definitely critical of all products. You know, you go into like a higher end diesel pusher, even that 5 to 700,000 category, they don't even use a soft touch wall. So beggars can't be choosers at times. 66-inch wide mattress right here. They do the dual water tanks below the bed. So 2 75-gallon water tanks. Of course, your gray and your black are both 75 gallons as well. So definitely, allows you to get out and do a fair amount of boondocking as well. Central back port actually goes underneath there. So with this lighter floor, that's one thing we made sure the floor was clean on a daily basis, and that's pretty handy having the central back, or just sometimes getting down on your hands and knees and wiping it clean. But the colors, I keep on coming back to this particular color scheme, interior and exterior, because it just works. I'm still a big fan of the grays over browns and tans, so just particular preference here. USBs on each side, and then you do have like a little spot if you needed to be able to take and put your phone or a drink of water. And then they do have some additional pieces that actually are set up to put your cup in. I've seen those at Renegade. I don't believe I mentioned earlier, it does have heated tile floors, so you actually have dual zone front and rear. But so in really, really cold environments, due to the fact that the hydronic heat, the heated tile floors, this coach is going to work really well in a really, really cold environments. We get some customers that go kind of the extreme. They go, they'll go into winter conditions all winter long. Don't know if I would take any coach. I would specifically build a coach for that, because you have minimal insulation, say below your bed slide. But this is going to work in great environments in that 15-degree range. Once you get to below zero, I would definitely do something a little bit more custom built. But great coach to be able to use in hot and cold environments. We've got it cooled down quite a bit with just running that front air conditioner on low, and we're 90+ degrees out here in Texas today. So always enjoy you guys coming out and watching the videos. This is a fun coach to be able to use. Wish our vacation could have been lasted a little bit longer. I think on mileage, this coach has about 2,600 miles, which we normally have about 1,500 miles by the time we get here anyhow. So a few more miles, but it'll be sold new. I'm super OCD. I can assure you the coach is much nicer today than it was when we picked it up at the factory a little over a week ago. So don't think the coach will take long to sell, and we don't have too many Explorers coming down the pipeline either. So this is a great coach for somebody that wants a larger chassis but doesn't want to go to like a big 45-foot. And there's so many people that love the opposing slides in a shorter unit. You simply cannot get that in the Classic. They've eliminated anything like that. They've eliminated any kind of customization. So if you're looking for a Renegade, you want opposing slides with opposing seating, this is it if you want to go on a shorter coach. So appreciate you guys always coming out. Make sure you guys like, tag, and subscribe.